Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me outside this hall, may I request all the delegates present for this conference to kindly come in and take your seats. The Governor will be here with us any moments now, and we'll start off with the inaugural session. We request you to kindly come in, take your seats, put your phones on the silent mode, connect with us, use those hashtags that we had spoken about since the morning, and connect with us, tell us your stories, post your pictures, and we are good to go for the next 3 days. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the Honorable Governor of West Bengal, Dr. C.V. Ananda Bose is here with us. A very warm welcome to you, sir. May I also request the other dignitaries to be seated with him to kindly come forward. Mr. Sharad Sanghi, Mr. Shailender Kumar, Mr. Sunil Gupta, Padma Shree Kiran Karnik, Sri Arvind Kumar, and Mr. Dhruva Mukherjee. A very warm welcome to all our esteemed guests. Thank you very much for being here with us. May I request everyone to kindly stand up for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्कल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे गावे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that all of us have been waiting for. On behalf of ABP Group, I would like to welcome all of you to the 21st edition of Infocom, India's top business technology leadership conference, bringing together one of the largest congregations of ICT professionals, corporate leaders, academics, visionaries, and policymakers in the country. And now I'd like to request our esteemed chief guest, His Excellency, Dr. C.V. Ananda Bose, the Honorable Governor of West Bengal, to kindly inaugurate the event by lighting the ceremonial lamp. And I also request our other esteemed guest of honor on the dais to join the esteemed Honorable Governor on this auspicious occasion. A wonderful start to a 3-day conference. As we pray to the Almighty for a 3-day of a lot of knowledge sharing, we are indeed grateful to the Honorable Governor of West Bengal. Thank you, sir. I request Mr. Dhruva Mukherjee, Managing Director and CEO, ABP Private Limited, and Chairman of Infocom, to deliver the welcome address. Sir.
Hello, check. His Excellency, Honorable Governor of West Bengal, distinguished guests of honor on the dais, and my dear friends here at the auditorium. It is my proud privilege to welcome you all to the 21st edition of Infocom. Vladimir Lenin once said that often there are decades that nothing happens, and then there are years when decades happen. I think to some extent we live in times which bears testimony to that. In the last 2 years, your lives and this world has been turned on its head. All of us have been affected with the pandemic in some way or the other. Infocom has been no exception. There was a time when we were worried whether we will be able to continue with Infocom when the pandemic hit us. But like the rest of the world, we were resilient, and we vowed not to break the continuity of Infocom. So we took it to a digital format, and many of you would have experienced Infocom over the last 2 years in its digital avatar. However, we were resolved. At the earliest opportunity, we will bring back Infocom to its physical format, and here we are doing just the same. Thank you so much for your support, cooperation, and encouragement to help us bring Infocom back to its physical format. I'm also particularly delighted that we were able to bring it back to its original format in this year, because this year is a milestone year for the ABP Group as it celebrates its centenary. Thank you. Over 100 years, driven by a sense of curiosity, ABP Group has been seeking answers to questions which we do not know and challenging the ones which we know. And in the same spirit of curiosity, Infocom for the last 21 years has been exploring new paradigms and trying to chart a roadmap for the IT and ITES sector in the country. The world we live in is still very beautiful, but it is broken. We believe technology will play a pivotal role in fixing that future. How, what, where, when will be decided by a group of people who history will refer to as change makers. And hence, the theme for this year's Infocom is the age of change makers who will lead us to that future. Great innovator Charles Kettering once said, we should all be concerned about the future because that is where we are going to spend the rest of our lives. I think over the next 3 days of conference, or at the end of the 3 days of conference, Infocom, through its debates, deliberations, and discussions, will paint for all of us a hopeful and an optimistic future where you and I will spend the rest of our lives. I once again welcome you to Infocom and thank you for your participation.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Mr. Sharad Sanghi, MD, NTT Limited, India, and EVP Global Data Centers and Marine Cable, NTT Limited, to speak a few words. Sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. His Excellency, Mr. Bose, dignitaries on the stage, and all of you. It's my pleasure and honor to be here today, and I would like to begin by thanking the ABP Group, Mr. Mukherjee, and also Khalida. When Khalida invites, you can't say no. So, to address all of you today, and also for choosing this theme, the age of change makers. Change makers dare to dream big, and they find creative solutions to seemingly unsurmountable challenges. They demonstrate leadership, not only leadership by example, but also shared leadership with other team members. They demonstrate cohesive teamwork, and also they are empathetic. I see several change makers in our audience today. You've all helped your organizations navigate the pandemic, whether it's from arranging laptops for everyone to completely shifting workplace remotely. It's a massive achievement worth celebrating. You adapted your business to a radically altered environment and successfully protected your investments, guided talents, ensured the business survival, and most importantly, secured the livelihoods of several families while also supporting emergencies as and when they came. So I'd like to begin by giving all of you and asking everyone to give yourselves a round of applause and a pat on the back. As change makers, you will create a new normal. You will become catalysts not only for your organization, but your society and your country. So I will, change makers, as I said, dare to dream big. And I think all of you, by overcoming the challenges that the pandemic faced, have demonstrated this very amply. I'd also like to touch upon some of the opportunities that face all of us today. As per a recent NASSCOM report, the global digital economy is likely to make up more than 50% of the global nominal GDP at 53 trillion. This is expected to be driven by accelerated consumption trends in digital commerce, digital payments, digital health, digital education, hybrid workplace, to name a few areas. And we know that the pandemic accelerated digital transformation not only in India but across the world. And we have the opportunity to build on this foundation and to use this momentum to take India to a new level of digital maturity. In the enterprise context, digitally mature enterprises can scale the digital transformation initiatives and extend the benefits to its value chain of partners. Enterprises that will be best positioned for this will have the following characteristics. I'm just naming a few of them. They will derive a sizable portion of their revenues from digital channels. They will invest in long-term technology transformation projects, not be afraid of adopting emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning, AR, VR, blockchain, metaverse, cloud, cyber, and of course making all of this secure using the latest cybersecurity trends. They'll have digitized a substantial portion of the enterprise workflow and of course have a significant pool of talent or digital talent, as I say. And with keeping all of this will also keep the ESG norms at both regional as well as global levels. As change makers, we have an opportunity to take digital empowerment to all sections of society, not only for our enterprises, but to other sections of society as well. And this can be done by harnessing the power of digital tools to enable access to services that otherwise may not be accessible to to the masses and to other portions of underprivileged society. Tremendous work has already been done by the government in this. For example, e-governance that enables access to databases and online repositories using platforms like Aadhaar, public grievance redressal, financial inclusion, which is accelerated through RuPay, UPI payments, direct benefits transfer, and Jan Dhan Yojana. And of course, digital delivery of services like education and healthcare. As change makers, we also have the opportunity to think out of the box, again, the creative solution part of change making, and develop innovative solutions to address emerging needs, not only of the current customers, but also of the Gen Z or the next generation of customers, where convenience and online experience is everything. The new crop, young blood is very, very impatient and they want answers quickly. So everything is now about customer experience. Lastly, as change makers, we are called upon to seriously consider the impact of our organizations and our businesses on societies and communities where we work and live. So sustainable development is, the UN has devised 17 sustainable development goals, and it's very imperative for all our organizations to do that. At NTT, for example, we've announced that by 2030 we'll be carbon neutral. A recent study by Oxford Economics and SAP revealed businesses recognize the potential of sustainability to unlock business value, with 62% of companies noting that it is not difficult to be sustainable and be profitable at the same time. In the same study, 60% of the respondents of India also noted that regulatory mandates are the prime drivers for their sustainability initiatives. Clearly, our efforts need to go beyond token submissions and compliance, right? To do this, we must use technology to gather data, optimize business processes, and make more sustainable business decisions. As change makers, we must all walk the talk by clearly engaging with key stakeholders, whether they are employees, partners, policymakers, and use the transformative power of technology and data management to build a more intelligent, sustainable enterprise and vibrant community. Once again, I would like to thank Infocom for inviting me to be part of this forum and look forward to insightful discussions with all of you in the coming days. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Mr. Shailender Kumar, Senior Vice President, Regional MD, India and NetSuite JPAC Oracle. May I request you, sir, to kindly address the gathering, sir.
His Excellency Dr. Bose, my co-panelists, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor to be present here today. And the theme is very, very apt. It's all about the change makers. With Oracle, for the last 40 years, if you see, the way we have worked with the industry, we have always the bellwether. The kind of technology we have brought to ensure that we can test ourselves and then take it to our customers, to our partners. Just an example, we designed the whole cloud with an investment of approximately 75 billion, just to ensure how do we onboard employees, how do we give them a digital experience, how do we do their learning, and how do we take them back to the market so that they can start working with our customers. We have been supporting our customers almost 24/7. And that itself is such a big game changer. All of you know, and Sharad just spoke about it, pandemic accelerated the adoption of digital. What are the big changes that happened? People wanted all the services sitting at home. I want services at my time, at my device, at whatever way I want to access it. So as an organization, we went ahead and ensured that we are able to change everything we have so that we can start supporting our customers. Change is constant, it's given. The kind of things which are happening around us, you talk about digital inclusion, digital payments, you talk about rural development, you talk about health services, is going to change. Only thing is, are we going to be affected from these change? At some times, yes. But overall, how we can be the change maker to see to it that not only we absorb the shocks, if any, but also lead it from the front. And these are the changes which are really making all the difference. Very, very important session talking about how data could be one of the big change makers, and we are going to have a detailed discussion in the evening. Starting from enterprise resource planning, supply chain, warehouse management, Oracle transport, all these applications are helping us to gather data. And this data helps us to give the insight and the vision how we can create the change and make the change. But at the same time, what are the kind of benefits that accrue? So collating, processing, and getting the analytics out of it. That has really helped as an organization to go back to our customers. We have approximately 450,000 customers across the globe, but that has really helped us to go and create these kind of changes. It's been really, really good to see how things have been progressing in the country. And when we see outside, when people started talking about, oh, there's going to be inflation, there's going to be interest rate change, there's going to be issues pertaining to geopolitical, people were scared of those changes. But if you see here in India, people have aspirations, people have growth, and everyone wants to see that how we can be the change makers to the world and create history. So really glad to be present here today and look forward to participate and look forward to have a detailed discussion today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. May I request Mr. Sunil Gupta, co-founder and CEO, Yota Infrastructure, to kindly come forward and speak to the August gathering here today. Sir.
Hello everybody, and a warm welcome to all of you. Hope you all are doing great. Since I had a privilege of having one detailed session before this, so I'll be very brief. Thank you ABP Group for inviting me to this prestigious platform. It could not have been a matter of more joy to be in the city of joy as I address this August gathering amid the gracious presence of His Excellency Dr. C.V. Ananda Bose, the Governor of West Bengal. I'm also glad to be joined by industry veterans and torchbearers, Shree, Kiran, Karnik ji, Arvind, Kumar ji, Shailender ji, and Sharad ji. I congratulate the ABP Group and Mr. Mukherjee and Mr. Kali Mahapatra for marking their centenary year this year. Anand Bajar Patrika, as we know it more popularly, their role, their contribution to India's independence, India's modern history, and Indian journalism has been remarkable, which we have been reading, hearing, and listening all the time since our childhood. As I speak from the land of West Bengal today, I would like to take this opportunity to inform that we, Yota, are coming up with our data center park in Kolkata. I must thank the government of West Bengal for its wholehearted support, from fast-tracking land allocation to various clearances and approvals from various departments. West Bengal is uniquely positioned today as the gateway to the east. It already is an important logistical and industrial hub, home to excellent connectivity infrastructure, and soon to become a hub of submarine cable landing stations. And with the launch of our data center park here, we are sure to strengthen the region's digital fabric, generating a lot of direct and indirect employment, serve every digital transformation need of the region's enterprises, startups, MSMEs, global hyperscalers, and more. And of course, the vision of Digital West Bengal was serving as the backbone for states' digital transformation initiatives, bringing e-governance and internet services closer to the people and transforming their lives through digital inclusion. We have earmarked an aggressive investment for the state and our data center park to be built with over rupees 8,500 crore, which we signed with Government of West Bengal a few months back as an MOU, is a significant part of our roadmap for West Bengal. The data center park actually is a part of a 100-acre logistical and industrial hub, which our parent group Hiranani is building here. We are committed to catalyze the growth of West Bengal as a part of our overall effort to fuel the engine of Digital India through development of hyper-connected, hyperscale data center parks and various layers of cloud, security, and associated services which we deliver through these centers. I also would like to announce on this prestigious platform today that besides building multiple large-scale and edge data centers in the country, we are also working on developing our own, which popularly I call as India Ka Apna Desi Cloud, internally called in Yota as Cloud 3.0, so that in India, we as digital Indian citizens, not only we have our citizens' data hosted locally in India, but we also have the underlying cloud IP also owned by we, the Indians. I want to end this note with Yota's strong belief in West Bengal's potential, and I assure you that we will continue to feed this potential with our investments, with our infrastructure, and with our services. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. May I request Padma Shri Kiran Karnik to kindly come forward and present his address. Sir.
Dr. Ananda Bose, Honorable Governor, dignitaries, guests, invitees, good morning. First, let me congratulate Mr. Mukherjee and the ABP Group on the centenary of ABP. It is indeed a great institution, not just recording over the century the progress of our country, but in many ways pushing it forward. Infocom is one such initiative started more than 20 years back, and I've had the great pleasure of being associated with it for long. I'm delighted to see that after interregnum of not having it physically for 2 years, we are back again together. And today, there's special weight and prestige added to it by the presence of the learned governor. And really, we should be thankful to him for coming and adding prestige to this conference. This is a time when we are faced globally with difficulties. It's been a time of climate change, COVID, of conflict. It is in some ways the worst of times. Yet, if I recall the words of a famous novelist, that it was the best of times and it was worst of times, it is in some ways the best of times emerging now. We've overcome COVID, I hope so, and it looks so in India, and moving ahead. It's a time of hope. It's India's time. We've proven our resilience through COVID and many other ways, and we can see that the path ahead looks good for us. It's a time for India, and again going back to another famous author, it's the time when there's a tide which taken at a flood which leads on to good fortune. We are at that flood in India. It's a huge opportunity, and to me, technology is going to be the big contributor in this. Technology which will help to bridge the gaps, the chasm in our society between rich and poor, between regions, between people. That's the promise of technology. It's also the promise of technology to make a better life through better education, through better health for all our people. And importantly, from an economic point of view, it's a fantastic opportunity for India, which has such an immense pool of the best human resources, to see how we can help move our own country forward, but in the process, help others and also do good for ourselves. The IT industry has been immensely successful. It's the biggest exporter in the country, will continue to be so, continues to thrive and grow. But there are inequities and disparities, both amongst people and amongst regions. And for a long time, it's been my dream, not just mine, many people have shared this dream of getting the eastern region actively involved with technology. The north, the west and the south in pockets, but they have moved ahead on this and done well. The east somehow missed the first bus for whatever reasons. There is now a huge opportunity. There are new technologies, there are changing times. This is the time to move forward. And the potential here is tremendous. The human resource potential, a huge untapped potential for the whole of the East. And there is an opportunity here for Bengal and indeed Calcutta to be the hub of this new growth, this new spurt, which will include the whole of the eastern region and take it beyond that. As we all know, the economic and in many ways the geopolitical locus of the globe has moved eastward. And there's no reason why much of the industry and the growth coming forward in technology now should not also begin to move eastward. This is the chance that we have. It's an opportunity which we must take and must not lose out on as we go forward. And discussions and conferences like Infocom, which bring together the professionals from around the country looking at growth for this industry in the whole country, but particularly in the East, have a big role to play in this. Today we've had already some very, very interesting sessions with speakers representing companies from around the globe. And we've already seen that there are lots of things happening, lots of possibilities. And I know that tomorrow there's a session on startups here, which will take forward what's happening here and move forward in terms of innovation and what can be done as we begin to move on this whole area. So I would say it's a time for us to move ahead and create technologies here, to create an industry here, and to put that to use to bridge all the various gaps in our society so that we all benefit from it and the country benefits from it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. May I request the Director General STPI, Mr. Arvind Kumar, to address the gathering. Sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon. His Excellency Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, Governor of West Bengal, Padma Shree Kiran Karnik ji, MD Entity Limited Sharad Sanghi ji, MD Oracle Shailender Kumar ji, Co-founder and CEO Shri Sunil Gupta, Dhruv Mukherjee ji, all industry captains, innovators, persons from media, ladies and gentlemen. It's really proud privilege to be part of this very conference, seminar, and I must thank ABP for inviting me for this very conference. I would like to mention 2-3 things here only. We have done wonders in IT service sector. Today, whatever export we are doing in the software, it is more than 50% of the revenue from the service sector. We have 7.5% of GDP, in GDP contribution of ITS services. Today we are looking for new India. This IT growth is because of the multiple reasons. We were the good English spoken country. We got the advantage of this. Suddenly Y2K problem came. We were able to understand the systems inside. We were having good talent. People enter into the software things. And we have today, we were able to done wonders in IT industry. But now, time is changing. Whatever has been done. Now technology on the different level. And there is no dearth of talent in this country. Today, technology means artificial intelligence, big data analytics, AR, VR, and so on. And Government of India and STPI, we are making all efforts to do for something for new technology developments. And there are 3 aspects, I must say. One is liberate this technology company, startup companies from typical government machinery. This is first requirement. And the second requirement is some institutional mechanism to be created so that these startups can do wonders. And number 3, this is hand-holding. First, liberate from government machinery. Government of India is doing multiple things. You must have heard number of laws has been repealed. There is a lot of concessions to SMEs when they are participating in bid. So government is doing their all efforts so that ease of doing business has been created in multiple ministries, across the ministries. Silos are being abolished. Interministerial work is happening. Same time we are talking about IoT startup ecosystem. At the same time we are auctioning 5G spectrum so that both can go together. So silos are also going. Second, the institutional mechanism. Be at STPI has 63 centers. Out of them, 53 centers are in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Because we also know that without this diversification, we cannot achieve the same growth which we could have achieved till now. We are creating centers for incubation. We are providing not only the space to them, but we are also creating center for entrepreneurship in this country. We have 21 center for entrepreneurship, which are domain specific, like for automobiles, we have at Pune, for AR/VR, we have at Hyderabad, for Medi Electronics, we are at Lucknow. So we are providing all types of the support to startup in terms of if they require a space of 3-4 seats, we are providing plug and play space to them. Not only in the tier 1 cities, but in tier 2, tier 3 cities as well. We are providing technology support, we are providing all lab equipment to them. They can go to them, they can check their ideas, they can incubate them. So this kind of the institutional mechanism we are providing to them. Third is hand holding. We are providing market access to them, taking them to various conferences, pavilions, where they can meet to the fund managers, VCs. We also have created a fund which is called Next Generation Incubation Scheme Fund, where any startup can get seed fund of 25 lakh rupees. So this is the way. Now therefore, I request IT industry, best investment if you are investing in the youngsters. So today youngsters are there. IT industry should support them and support those startups which are coming forward. Actually they are future. They are future for new India. When I say new India, now if you talk, now India's position has been changed globally. Anywhere in the world, in any company, whether it is in US, whether it is in Europe, people are talking about the India story. Now India story is going on. And therefore, all IT industry come together. They should support all our youngsters, all new innovators, so that we can grow like we have done wonders in the IT industry. That's what I wanted to mention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that all of us have been waiting for, the deliberations by our chief guest, His Excellency, the Governor of West Bengal, Dr. C.V. Ananda Bose. Sir, may I request you to kindly come forward and present your invaluable address to the august gathering here today.
Most distinguished Shree Dhruva Mukherjee, Padma Shree Kiran Karnik, Shree Arvind Kumar, Shree Sharad, Sanghi, Shree Shailender Kumar, Shree Sunil Kumar, and all the distinguished delegates and captains of the IT sector who are assembled here. I deem it a great privilege to be here in this distinguished audience in a function which is organized by the doyen of the media industry in this country, Anand Basar Patrika. I am asked here to speak about the age of change makers. What is change? W.B. Yeats, the Nobel laureate, Irish poet, he speaks about the change that can take place in society. All changed utterly. He speaks about the East of 1916, uprising in Ireland, when young minds are ignited towards the need, the desire, the determination for change, what happened? All changed utterly. A terrible beauty is born. Beauty cannot be terrible. But when young minds, ordinary minds, are ignited, that transformation can never be called, it's a terrible beauty is born. I see before me, I see behind me, a terrible beauty is born in this hall today. We look forward to great things from you. And who are the change makers? Beside me, before me, I see the change makers who have proved their mettle. Yes, we owe it to you. Of Chaucer's characters, Dryden said, here is God's plenty. Pointing out at you, and here, I can also proudly say, here is God's plenty. As a student, I was taught by my teachers about the Wright brothers. Orville Wright and Wilbur Wright. When they were toying with the idea of a flying machine, everyone dissuaded them. They said, leave flying to the birds. The Wright brothers said, if birds can fly, so can we. If birds can fly, so can we. Because of that change, I am able to come here in an aeroplane. And then, the aeroplane cannot land in this hotel. Ford was toying with the idea of a motor car. Everybody dissuaded him. Even Edison dissuaded him. He said, it's a futile exercise. You're a great inventor, join me. Let us together do things that are good for the nation, good for the people. But Ford also stuck to his ground. Therefore, we have the motor car. So thank the Wright brothers and Ford for bringing me here, bringing you here. That is a change, that is a transformation. All change utterly. A terrible beauty is born. That is why the great change agent, the game changer of this nation, Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change which you wish to see in the world around you. That is the magic of change. That is the mystery of change. Yes, we are wedded to changing, but I have a complaint to the organizers of this meeting. You said, this is only change agents. You are doing much more. This is not change. ABP, this is not change. This is transformation which you are making. Transformational India. I see the clarion call for the transformational India, which stems out of this. Out of the ABP humility, they are calling it change. This is transformational. No, it can even lead to a metamorphosis of this country when we can proudly say, my country great and strong. Yes, I would like to hear, my humble wish is that in the Raj Bhavan here, governors like Wellesley and Curzon were there. They told the whole world, Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. As a humble occupant of that abode, after this meeting, after a few months, I wish to hear the new generation of Bengal, the new generation of India, triumphantly saying, Bengal, Bengal wins the race. That is the process transformation which I am looking forward. I am a disciplined civil servant. I was told by my office that a governor has to read out his speech. A two-legged governor is told, sir, you have to walk on crutches. So I have brought my crutches, which also I will use, whether I know it. We know India, Bengal, is ready for a decisive thrust in digitalization, which will make the new generation the digital masters of the future world. Digital tourism, digital healthcare, digital supply, digital banking should bear testimony to the efficacy of the digital medium in transforming everyday life. Government should come to your doorstep, entertainment to your drawing room, education to your study table, healthcare to your bedrooms, and services should be brought to your homes. Technology-driven systems should ensure that every man's home is his office, his hospital, his cafeteria, his mega mall and whatnot. Digitalization can bring this about. Figuratively, digitalization make you hold what the poet says, infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. That is the digital transformation in this country, the world over. Bridging the digital divide, increasing technology literacy should be the focus, and we should ensure that every household should have access to digital literacy and equipment. On the cyber highway, India should ensure its digital sovereignty without permitting the digital masterminds sitting abroad and trying to turn the wheels of self-reliant India. Broadband connectivity should be increased, optic fiber expansion to the panchayat should be speeded up, and the digital thrust should be taken up vigorously as a prime change agent of rural India. We should achieve software sufficiency and surplus so that export of software can give a fillip to cyber commerce in this country. Emerging as the most tech-savvy country in the world, the IT-friendly new generation of India is stated to be the command and control center of the IT-directed world. New generation India is slated to be the command and control center of the IT revolution in the world, from dependence through independence. The world has reached the state of interdependence. Governance has to meet the expectations of globalized world and hence should look beyond borders. I see before my eyes Bengal and India rising from its sleep like a giant and shaking its invincible lock. I am proud to say that Bengal owes its glory to the older generation of veterans, titans, heroes, icons, but Bengal owes its future to the new generation. Give them the command, go. The new generation of India, they are willing to take over the world. They can surmount any insurmountable, impregnable fort where knowledge, grit and determination is required. I see India's future in the new generation. The new generation of India is second to none in the world. India is going to lead. Bengal is going to lead. Bengal will be led by the new generation. Let the oldies like me retire. I am a retired IAS officer. But Bengal has retired me and brought me back as governor. But I would like to see those days when the youngsters take over. You know, in the heydays of the French Revolution, it was said, bliss was it to be alive in those days, but to be young was very heaven. Yes, bliss is it to be alive in these days in Bengal, and to be young is very heaven. Bengal will lead, the youth will lead. There is nothing which is opaque from the youth, opaque from the new generation. Youth are not products of the past or custodians of the present. They are creators of the future. They should lead. They will lead. They will lead this country. This country, which was once considered one of the greatest countries. We are great. India is great. We should assert India is great. Bengal is great. We should assert Bengal is great. I do not want a fallen or a prostrate or a defensive or a diffident Bengal, a diffident India. We want a Bengal, we want an India which is ready to die so that humanity may live. We showed the path during the COVID. Is there any nation which could together stand together and face the COVID squarely? Even Amartya Sen has complimented India for this. Bill Gates has complimented the people of India. Why? How could you do that? We had the inner strength. You know, in Sundarbans, you have tigers also. During summer, all animals come to drink from the lake there. The lake is infested with crocodiles. There comes a wild horse to drink water. The crocodile stealthily comes, catches its legs, pulls it down, that is finished. Then comes a bison, goes under the, gives a big bite, draws it, that is finished. Then comes a tigress with her 2 cubs. She rests on the bank. The cubs are playing on the mother. The crocodile felt, I should have one of the cubs as my dinner. Stealthily, slowly, the crocodile comes to approach the cubs. The tigress senses something wrong behind. The tigress just raises its head. The crocodile is in two minds whether to go forward or backward. The tigress turns its head and looks at the crocodile. It runs for its dear life. The tigress don't do anything. The tigress just reflected its inner strength. The youth of India has this inner strength. One only has to draw it out. Let this organization, this conference, be a trigger which will bring out the best in our youth. Generally, about conferences, some cynic has said, a conference is a group of persons who individually can do nothing, but collectively can sit together and decide that nothing can be done. I'm sure this is going to be an exception to this. Certainly, we expect great results from this. With veterans like Karnik, Kiran here, I am sure there is nothing impossible. Nothing is impossible. As Napoleon said, well, as a governor I should be accurate. Napoleon did not say that. It is attributed to Napoleon that impossible is a word found only in the dictionary of fools. Even if you deny it, Napoleon cannot escape. It is his. Yes, if we say that impossible is there in the dictionary of fools, it means in Bengal there is no word called impossible. That is the merit of this. Yes, you have come to a land which Gurudev has said, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free. Where knowledge is free, he could anticipate that. This is a knowledge world. This world belongs to knowledge. We have to go through knowledge, and that is what we are pursuing here. I have some mischievous statement to make about ABP. 100 years, 100 years there in the field, which means when I come here, I feel like a tiny toddler with a great-grandfather. 100 years. I compliment them for that. How did they succeed? A journalist should be able to see tomorrow's news today. I think they had that premonition. Otherwise, why this conference started today, not yesterday, why not tomorrow? Because they had the journalistic premonition that today the momentous decision in digitalization is taken by the Reserve Bank. Digital rupee has been introduced. See, they anticipated it. That is ABP. That is why they are there. I do not want to take more of your time. I don't have to share with you, veterans, how to conduct a conference like this, but I have two tips to give. One, in Singapore I am told, there is a law. No one can speak on the public platform for more than 5 minutes. If you exceed the time, there is an insurance scheme. The time of the audience will be insured. The speaker has to pay the premium. Either he can introduce that, or better still, the Greek model is better. See, in Greece, Athens, cradle of participatory democracy. You don't have to be an elected senator or a member of parliament or a MLA. Any citizen can come and move a resolution, but on one condition. He comes on a wooden platform, stands on a wooden platform, with thousands of commoners in front of you. Before he starts speaking, the city father, the mayor, will come and put a noose around your neck. Once you speak, if it is accepted, the noose will be removed from your neck. If not, the platform will be removed from underneath. I think the Greek model is better. ABP, please invite me also next time, but not to be on the platform, but in the audience to watch the fun. One more thing I would like to, and with that, what Shakespeare said, my half an hour traffic on the stage or 15 minutes traffic on the stage will be over. Al Gore, who contested against Bush, Al Gore later got the Nobel. He was a good candidate, but he took off for 2 days to chill out during the election campaign. He came to India. When he was going from the airport to the hotel, He saw so many people standing before the mic and speaking for hours because there's nobody to listen. They said, sir, this is the panchayat election. This is the way to win it. Keep on speaking. He said, excellent model, excellent model. So he went there. And the presidential debate, as you know, hardly for 10 minutes, millions will see it on the television. There, Al Gore used this model. At the end of an hour-long speech, Al Gore said, we need educational reform, we need industrial reform, we need cultural reform, we need IT reform. Somebody said from the audience, but you need some chloroform. Before he said that, with your leave, I declare this inaugurated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for that extremely invaluable and passionate deliberation. And we heartily thank you. We are privileged that with your graceful presence, you are here today for the inaugural session of Infocom 2022. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to request Mr. Dhruva Mukherjee, CEO of ABP Private Limited, to kindly present the ABP Centenary Memento to His Excellency. And here is Mr. Dhruva Mukherjee, CEO of ABP Private Limited, handing over the ABP Centenary Memento to His Excellency, the Governor of West Bengal, Dr. C.V. Ananda Bose. Thank you very much, sir. And I will request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे गावे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. We request everyone to kindly be in your own seats while His Excellency the Governor leaves. Thank you very much to our guest of honor and our chief guest for being in during this inaugural ceremony.